Law believes the ripple effect from a failed Naira-for-Crude deal will impact the stability in petroleum product availability and pricing in Nigeria. In a chat with CNBC Africa, he stresses that Nigeria's crude production volume must be sustained amid the recent sabotage of pipelines. Take a look.
It's a good thing that we've gotten feedback that the committee of the Federal Executive Council is now in talks with the refiners with regards to the Naira-for-Crude transaction. But my concern is that perhaps this came a little bit too late. 6 months did not jump on all of us. 6 months started counting as far back as October. And the concern is, why did we have to wait up until what I will call the dying minute, a few days till the end of March, before these conversations were opened? But nonetheless, I think it's good that the conversations are on the way. And the understanding we have is that both parties, particularly the NNPC, is looking to extend the Naira-for-Crude arrangement. So I think it's a good thing for us as a country generally. With regards to the potential impact, if we do not have a deal, what this means is that considering the fact that the Dangote refinery is a free zone, it has the freedom to be able to sell the petroleum products in USD. But what that means is that the marketers would have to take Naira to the market to go and look for USD in order to purchase the product. And ultimately, this would reflect on the pricing at the pumps, which what I'm saying, perhaps in so many words, is that there is a possibility of an increase in pump prices if we don't have a renewal of the deal. Now, one of the things which is causing concern is also the issue of balancing the interests of the federal government with regards to forward sale contracts that have already pledged crude to the creditors of Nigeria, and also ensuring that there is sufficient and consistent supply to the Nigerian market. Do not forget that there's been even reports before now that there's been inconsistent supply from the NNPC up until March.
And talking about the inconsistencies here now, some of the data we've also had is that the forward oil sales had hit about $21.5 billion in the last 6 years. That's since 2019. And in terms of the sanctity of these contracts and ensuring that we don't have defaults here, the ripple effects, in terms of pressing forward, the near-term outlook, how do you see the picture getting, especially on the back of concerns around whether or not Nigeria can sustain its production volume at this moment?
At this point, we have no choice but to ensure that we do everything possible to ensure that our production volumes are sustained. Unfortunately, looking at some of the events that had happened in the course of last week with regards to certain sabotage of pipelines, right, this would also count negatively towards output and oil production. But we should, as much as possible, ensure as a country that security issues with regards to production or anything that can affect production is highly curtailed and highly minimized. If we do not do that, then perhaps we may be running a risk of not meeting our credit obligations, right, to our financiers under the various forward sale contracts. And what would happen would now be some of the concerns which we are getting with regards to lack of consistent supply for domestic refining capacity. So what I'm saying essentially is that we are in dire straits with regards to our production levels, and we shouldn't allow anything negatively affect it because it would affect us, one, economically as a country, and as individuals, also, we may see inflationary trends as a result of potential increase in fuel pump price if we do not have consistent domestic supply of crude oil to the refineries.
And some estimates have it that we might likely see pump price hit about 930 Naira per dollar if we see things not necessarily move favorably for us under this deal. But now talking about timelines here and how do we also boost our refining capacity here in the country, this shifts my attention a little bit towards the concept of modular refinery, the government strategy towards this, and then the local players here, and then the timelines for the rehabilitation or modernization of our refineries, Port Harcourt, Kaduna. These definitely continue to come, make the news. However, hitting the ground running and producing still remains a concern here. Your take around the timelines, how we've paced ourselves so far, and the concept around investment in modular refineries.
I think you've lumped up various issues. You have the issue of the modular refinery on one hand. You also have the issue of the ongoing rehabilitation of government-owned refinery. With regards to the modular refineries, I think one of the things we should also we still have to talk about is the issue about supply of feedstock. Now, maybe apart from maybe one or two refineries that have feedstock from their upstream businesses, right? What will you have is that the other refineries will still have to purchase feedstock from upstream producers. The question will be, do we have sufficient feedstock, right, for this upstream? I mean, from these upstream producers, particularly because usually what happens is that the nature of crude oil sale contracts is not, I mean, there are few times whereby you have spot sales. Most times what happens is those contracts are either under forward sale agreements or prepayment agreements, which are already locked in. So the success of modular refineries would also largely depend on feedstock. The operators of modular refineries as of today, I think those that are recorded success as of today is on the back of the fact that they have upstream operations that can easily give them feedstock. And even at that, I'm aware that some of them even still enter into contracts with local producers to get more feedstock too.
That was